Sexual attraction is one of the most important factors in a relationship. When it is absent, you often end up with nothing more than a friendship. However, the modern man struggles to induce such attraction, and even when they do, many men are too oblivious to notice. It is almost essential that once sexual attraction is established, the relationship pivots in that direction. But how do you know when to make a move when you're constantly insecure or unsure about her level of attraction towards you? Thanks to some incredible psychological insights and studies, it's now easier to recognize how a woman acts when she's thinking about you sexually. The only thing missing is your ability to notice these signs. Today, we will look at the 14 important signs that indicate a woman is thinking about you sexually. Number 1. Always looking her very best. With so much going on in life, finding the time to dress up for your partner can be daunting. While celebrities and other individuals do this every day, the average man and woman have so much on their plate that focusing on looking their very best isn't always a priority. Looking acceptable is often ideal for most people. However, attraction is a fascinating thing. Whenever a woman puts in the extra effort to make herself more attractive to you, it clearly shows she has an interest in you. Granted, if you're going to a fancy party or dinner, this effort can be explained. For the most part, though, women will want to dress up for the guy they like. According to psychology, whenever we like someone, we are naturally inclined to put in a little more effort for that person. It's for this reason that women will dress up a little more and try to look their best when they meet the guy they like. Once you notice this, it might be time for you to start making some moves. Number 2. You are swarmed by compliments. The world has become a tough place, and compliments are not generally given. Unless you're someone special or one of the most attractive people around, compliments might not come your way that often. Adding to this is the fact that women rarely give out compliments due to men's reactions. Since men are currently dating with a scarcity mindset, they believe that every woman complimenting them wants to sleep with them, which is not the case. Many women know this, so the female compliments men would receive have often dried up, making it extremely hard to find. Reserved women who give compliments have certainly found at least one form of attraction from their side. If she gives you compliments, you're definitely attractive to her, which should give you an indication of what's going on inside her mind. However, what you are actually looking for are those additional compliments when you don't put in the effort. Putting in effort deserves compliments, and this is why we often do this. However, if she naturally floods you with compliments, it's a clear sign of sexual attraction. In fact, these compliments might start via texting and become a little raunchier when you see each other in person. Number 3. A slight inkling of nervousness. You might think that when someone's nervous around you, they might be hiding something, and in many cases, this does turn out to be true. In fact, one of the biggest signs that she's hiding her attraction for you is when she appears to be a little nervous when the two of you meet up. However, spotting this is not as simple as just meeting up with her. You need to understand that people are naturally more nervous when meeting someone new and not knowing what to expect. She might be nervous seeing you for the first few dates until she gets to know you better. However, she won't agree to any dates if she doesn't like you. When you notice her being continually nervous on subsequent dates, it might mean that she could be hiding her attraction towards you. She actually wants to relieve this burden, but due to fear of rejection, she might simply remain nervous. If she's nervous about being attracted to you, she'll have a couple more coping mechanisms that women often use to soothe themselves. This is simply to feel more comfortable in the face of the unknown situation she's dealing with. Speaking of coping mechanisms, let's look at a few common ones. Number 4. Stroking or playing with her hair. One of the most widely accepted signs of sexual attraction from women is when she plays with or caresses her hair. This is one of those soothing behaviors that can be a substitute for fiddling with other things. You will notice that she often tilts her head in a cute but submissive way, which enables you to see how she's stroking and playing with her hair. This is done as a way of communicating to you that she's actually nervous and that there's something she would like to get off her chest. You could even call this out and ask her whether she might be nervous about something that could be causing her stress. However, you can still look out for more of these nuances that she might be doing as a way of trying to disperse her inner tension and get rid of some energy. Number 5, licking her lips. Much like playing with her hair, women often lick their lips subconsciously as a way of showing they're interested. This is a phenomenon that has been occurring for many centuries as women try to show men their desire. Lip licking has different meanings depending on the culture, but it often signals that she's open to something more physical. Ideally, you want to ignore this sign and not call her out on it, as it could make any woman feel very self-conscious. However, you should know that whatever you've been doing is certainly working, and you should continue doing so. This means that your flirting techniques are effective, and we would even suggest that you go in for the kiss. Additionally, women can combine stroking their hair with licking their lips, which should give you the best indication that she desires you physically. When this is combined with other signs, there's absolutely no denying the sexual attraction. Number 6, establishing subtle touch. Women will often expect a man to initiate touching and break the ice, but some women might be a little more forward. In these cases, you might notice little sensual touches as she tries to show you that she's interested. Touching by itself can have various meanings, and because it's open to interpretation, we recommend looking at a combination of signs. However, the main combination of hair stroking and lip licking, coupled with a few light touches, will certainly be a clear sign. Women with more experience might even try to seduce you with these touches. As a bonus tip, instead of solely seeking these signs, pay attention to her face. The face often tells 1,000 stories, and you should be able to see all of this in her expressions. Women are very expressive when it comes to emotions and feelings. Unless she's wearing a ton of makeup, her face should tell you everything you need to know about where you stand. Number 7, flirting. Perhaps the most obvious sign of sexual attraction between a man and a woman is when flirting takes place. Now, there's a difference between flirting via text messaging and doing so in person. When you flirt with someone you've never met, it might not be the same in person because people craft an idea of someone in their minds. On the other hand, flirting in person only happens when there's sexual attraction. This is why men who are attracted to a specific woman often flirt with them. However, keep in mind that flirting by itself is not something that women do readily or give away easily. Many women prefer being more modest and observing someone before resorting to such lengths. So, whenever a woman is flirting with you, you can be almost completely sure that she's heavily invested and attracted to you in some way. You might also want to be on the lookout for some of the other signs we've already mentioned. Once you combine these with flirting, it becomes extremely clear that she's interested in you. Number 8, she initiates. Women are, by nature, far more passive-aggressive than their male counterparts. One thing every woman on this planet hates is conflict. And since they don't like taking responsibility, fleeing is often their best solution. Women generally rely on men to make the first move when there's some form of attraction present. The reason for this is that they fear rejection and struggle to deal with it at a far deeper level than most men. If a woman initiates in some way, like kissing you first, or even just jumping you and trying to be physical, it is perhaps the clearest sign that she's into you. Now, you might think that this doesn't happen in reality. However, you'll notice that there are a few women who know what they want and go after it. This shouldn't be something that puts you off. Number 9, meeting her friends and family. Your friends and family will often be the people you trust the most. In some cases, people might have familial issues, but for the most part, those close to you have been selected for a reason, and you don't want to let anyone near them who could create trouble. This is the same for women, but they take it to a far greater extent. Additionally, women naturally expect a man to bring them into his life and allow them to meet his friends and family before reciprocating with the same. Women will require tons of trust before bringing you into their social circle. When she does invite you to meet some of her people, she's definitely feeling something more than just friendship. She's doing this to see if you'll get along with her folks. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do aside from being yourself in this situation. You want her friends and family to accept you for who you are. If she was already attracted to you, this will increase the level of attraction to new, unparalleled levels. Number 10, she seeks excuses to talk to you. At the start of any relationship, both people are often playing hard to get. This means not calling or texting too often and trying to keep the balance of power as close to the middle as possible. Adding to this is the fact that life is naturally busy, and you'll often notice that while you are busy, you forget about talking to one another. However, a woman who likes you will never forget about talking to you. She might try to find virtually any excuse she can to establish some contact and keep the conversation going. You'll notice that she might send you funny memes or videos or simply check in. All of these actions are not natural for people who are living lives without care for anyone else. So if you notice a woman constantly checking in and trying to show you that she cares for you, you can be quite sure that there's at least some form of attraction established between the two of you. This attraction dictates behavior. Number 11, playing games. One of the important things that many women often do is test men. Regardless of who you are, every woman will test you to some degree, where she will see if you can truly be the man you claim to be. But even though this happens constantly, and women test every guy, these passive-aggressive tests are often ramped up when it comes to the guys they desire. If she desires you, she might push you away and pull you back again. Once you notice these tests, it is best to simply flow along with them and not fail by showing insecurity. However, you can take it as a sign that she is certainly interested in you. Keep in mind that these tests should be accompanied by some of the other signs as a way of perfectly gauging her absolute interest levels. Number 12, playful insult. If you think back to high school, you will immediately notice that since no one dared to approach the other person, you would most often lead some of these conversations with a couple of playful insults. Women do the same, and whenever she notices something you like, she might choose the opposite side of the argument just as a way of trying to see your reaction. Additionally, she might even insult your way of thinking or your belief systems, but this is never truly malicious and will be done through playful insults. However, if she's willing to invest the time to tolerate and engage with such behavior, you also know that you're occupying some of her mental capacity to a degree. Ideally, you would want to play along if possible, or try to have some fun with it. This creates a very fascinating but addictive form of tension. It is such tension that can elevate relationships and the current feelings between two people. Number 13, your belief systems match. On the contrary side of the spectrum, a woman who believes in one thing might even be swayed by your thoughts and opinions. In fact, she might be willing to follow your belief systems and deviate from whatever principles she has. The reason for this is that women are far more agreeable than men, especially with those they desire. This can be seen in how she talks about such topics. She might always agree with what you are saying. Whenever you manage to get a woman to trust you and follow your way of thinking, you have won her over. Now it's up to you to choose where things are going. With such a powerful thing in common, you will have established trust, and once trust is established, she will be far more likely to engage in some form of sexual behavior. This is somewhat more of a psychological element, but presents a very clear and powerful sign of attraction between two people. Number 14. Her mood changes when you appear. Any relationship revolves around power, and in most cases, one person has power over the other. This is not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you're considered one of the more positive influences in her life. What you will notice is, regardless of whether she's had a bad day or has been dealing with other men hitting on her, her mood will immediately be better when you are around. In fact, this can go even further when she reaches out to you as a safe haven whenever she deals with the nuances that life might throw her way. So, whenever you notice her mood consistently change for the better when you're around, the more sure you can be that she's definitely sexually interested in you. By engaging in such activities, you're more likely to solidify the feelings, which should strengthen this feeling of trust even further. Women, by nature, are not as complicated when you break it down to a more human level. You see, women are slightly more emotional, but knowing what to look for, you can comfortably discern how she feels about you. If this doesn't work, you can directly ask her as well. But once you have some sexual interest from her side, you need to know what to do. Make sure to check out this next video to see how you can seduce a woman you like.